Welcome back to the refuge of whispers and wonder, the corner of the internet where we press pause on the noise and lean in to hear the pulse beneath the headlines. You are watching Turkish series stars. In the glittering carnival of Turkish showbiz, secrets rarely survive the spotlight, and yet some stories refuse to be staged. Most romances here flicker like a flare, hot, dazzling, and gone by the next rerun. We've all seen love reduced to captions, choreographed strolls, and cryptic captions crafted to feed the rumor mill. But every so often, a pair arrives who refuses to be programmed by the algorithm, a couple who treats intimacy like a sanctuary instead of a stunt. Tonight, we open the curtain on such a pair, a quiet saga with thunder in its silence. For months, a single rumor has hummed beneath the city like an underground train, steady and unstoppable. It belongs to two faces etched into the public imagination, the magnetic, disciplined Yaman, and the radiant, effervescent Demet Özdemir. Their on-screen chemistry in Turkish didn't just charm viewers, it rewired the internet. Yet it is the chapter off-camera that has everyone holding their breath. They have tiptoed along the fine line between public curiosity and private devotion, scattering only the smallest hints while, as whispers suggest, keeping the richest moments away from the lenses. A tightrope, a pact, a choice. Today, that hush has shifted, not because of scandal, but because of significance. Trusted murmurs from Istanbul's most discerning corridors claim the unthinkable has stepped into the realm of reality. The families have met. A gathering not of fans or producers, but of mothers, fathers, siblings, laughter. A summit of kin. In the architecture of Turkish relationships, this is no casual courtesy. It is intention sculpted into motion, a careful stride toward a future. And here on Turkish series stars, we will trace that stride from the first footfall to the horizon. We will dive into the rationale behind the quiet, the symbolism in bringing families to the same table, and the captivating balance of their personalities that makes this union feel less like a rumor and more like destiny. Before we enter that room, a question for you, the heartbeat of this channel: is privacy the secret ingredient that keeps celebrity love alive, or does honesty in the open ward off the rumor storm? If these deeper journeys into the loves and lives of the stars speak to you, remember to subscribe to Turkish series stars. And if you want to walk even closer with us, to help fuel the stories we unearth, the join button below is waiting. Your support is the ink in our pens. To grasp the weight of tonight's development, we must first admire the strategy that paved the road. Yaman and Demet Özdemir have never behaved like people killing time with a fling. They practiced a discipline that feels almost radical in an era of overshare. When they appeared together in public, the moments were sparse, deliberate, and unmistakably professional. They have not run from cameras out of fear but stepped carefully out of respect for the work, for each other, and for the life they might be building brick by guarded brick. Cynics declared the silence fragile, as if love must be live-streamed to be real. But the whispers today suggest the opposite. The silence was not emptiness, it was cement. While the world scrolled, a foundation was quietly poured. What began as a friendship forged in long shoot days and relentless schedules matured in the shelter of privacy, where kindness isn't content and tenderness doesn't demand a caption. They guarded the seed until it could weather a storm, and now, it seems, the first fruit is ripening. The headline rippling across the industry is precise and charged with meaning: the families have met. In certain circles elsewhere, meeting the parents can be casual, a Tuesday formality over takeout. But here, in the cultural rhythms of Turkey, and particularly for two stars who appear to honor tradition even while living under neon, the uniting of families is a seismic tremor. It is a statement of intent. According to those with their ears to the ground, this was not a stiff negotiation. No velvet ropes. No photographers lurking beyond a hedge. The scene was reportedly intimate, warm, unshowy, two families sharing stories, trading smiles, and recognizing in one another the soft, startling familiarity that sometimes whispers, "We could be kin." The glow in the room didn't end with the couple, it spread to the parents and siblings, to the uncles and aunts, to every voice that laughed and listened. Industry veterans are reading the tea leaves and finding the same line: an engagement isn't a question of if but when. Both stars, they say, are perched on strong branches of their careers. No one is reaching for a ring to fix a storyline or to gin up attention. They're stepping forward because the timing is right, and the foundation they crafted in quiet is ready for the next floor. Family approval changes everything. It shifts the script from a romance into a legacy tale. And I want to turn to you again. How much weight does your family's blessing carry in your life? Would you walk into a marriage if the families couldn't find a common rhythm? Tell us in the comments. We read every word, and your stories deepen this community. If this portrait of a grounded love is making you exhale with hope, tap the like button and help us bring these narratives to more hearts. And if you want to become a pillar of this channel, that join button turns your support into our lifeline. Now, beyond the dinner table and the toasts that might have glowed softly between clinks of glasses, what gives this pair such gravitational pull is the chemistry of opposites. People close to them describe it as equilibrium. Can is often the anchor, steady, strategic, protective, a man who leans into structure and thinks in long arcs. He moves with an athlete's discipline and a lawyer's attention to detail, even when the world interprets him through headlines and thirst traps. Demet, on the other hand, is a comet with control. She is luminous and buoyant, quick to laugh, quick to listen, graceful without losing her edge, spirited without sacrificing poise. Place them together and nothing explodes. Instead, they synchronize. His steadiness softens her workload, and her brightness lifts his seriousness. Those who glimpsed the family gathering say this harmony was undeniable. They didn't just see two celebrities. They saw two pieces designed to click. This was not a climax. It was a starting gun. Sources whisper that the conversation didn't end with the last course. The phone calls continued. The visits didn't stop. Week by week, thread by thread, the families wove themselves closer to a shared fabric. In the tabloid imagination, this is as good as a signature. Not small talk, but timelines. Not gossip, but logistics. What color are the mornings you dream of? Where would you find your winter sun? How do we fit the map of work around the calendar of life? Even as their schedules demand dawn call times and midnight rehearsals, neither one has allowed this momentum to stall. Friends say that in private, Ken uses a simple word again and again: order. It is code, perhaps, for a home that holds them both. Demet, according to those she trusts, has spoken often about balance, the art of protecting the career she's built while claiming the joy she's earned. These aren't the whispers of a fling. These are architects studying their blueprints, hands steady, eyes bright. The public response? Sunlight. The usual tug-of-war between fandoms and skeptics has softened into something more generous. Many who have followed every chapter from the studio floor to this hushed promise are writing the same thing: this feels durable. It feels like a long game. Their devotion to privacy isn't seen as aloofness anymore, it's admired as a template. Keep what's precious safe, and let the work speak loudly instead. And just as the applause rises, a new murmur slips in to fan the flames. There is talk of a small trip penciled into their calendars, a brief escape carved out for exhale after a demanding stretch. To the casual observer, a getaway is nothing. But in the language of romance, a quiet trip after families have shared a table is practically a chapter title. Breathe, talk, finalize. Iron the creases out of the future and fold it neatly into a suitcase. The word proposal is being whispered like a spell. And yet, at the center of this storm, Ken and Demet remain windless. No statements. No covers. No winks online designed to bait engagement. Their silence is read two ways. Some insist the story is entirely true, and the couple is simply waiting for the right moment to share it without stepping on a project, a premiere, or a promise made to producers. Others believe the quiet is their strategy distilled: protect the heart until the ink dries, and even then, protect it some more. Either way, one truth feels solid: they are moving forward deliberately, with the patience of people who have learned from every previous chapter. This isn't the fireworks and ashes cycle that so often consumes showbiz romances. This pairing is aging like a vintage, slow, considered, gathering depth. Those who work beside them have noticed shifts that only happiness can explain. Can, they say, has arrived to sets with renewed focus, a spark that turns long days into quick ones. Demet seems calmer, more certain, more at ease in the decisions she makes. It's as if contentment has adjusted the lighting around them both. So where do we look next? Perhaps to an unexpected post, perhaps to a hand that glints in the sun, perhaps to a statement that drops without warning. Or perhaps we wait a little longer, trusting what the hush itself has taught us: the most beautiful stories do not need to shout. They simply unfold, firm and patient. Whatever the next chapter holds, Yaman and Demet Özdemir are reminding us that some treasures belong first to the people who hold them. In the coming days, the path will reveal itself. By a photograph, a shared glance, a confirmed plan, or simply by the continued quiet of two people building something that doesn't depend on applause. Until then, we honor their privacy while celebrating the hope they've sparked in so many hearts. Thank you for being with us for this special feature on Turkish series stars. If you're cheering for Can and Demet, tell us why in the comments, and let your words be the confetti that respects, not invades. Don't forget to hit that join button if you believe in the stories we chase and the care with which we tell them. Until next time, may your own love be sturdy, your boundaries respected, and your future built with the patient hands of people who know exactly what they're choosing. We'll be here, watching the horizon, listening for the soft click of a promise becoming a plan, and ready to bring you the moment when the quiet finally speaks.